Yeah, it's not a great day on the markets. The Nikkei in Tokyo is actually the worst hit this morning, closing down over 3% at the end of trading in Tokyo. The markets in China too back in business after the Lunar New Year holiday. At least in Hong Kong they are anyway. Shanghai is still closed over 4%. In fact, you can see that closing figure for the Nikkei there. Hang Seng, they're down over 2.5%, digesting the news that China's manufacturing sector grew at the slowest rate in 6 months. This, of course, adding to fears from emerging markets. Investors see little hope of things stabilising in the future. Anyway, the mass sell-off on the stock markets began on Wall Street on Monday, though, part of a trend we've been seeing since the start of this year. 2013 was the bumper year for shares, but will 2014 be the year of the mass sell-off? Delano D'Souza has been looking at what's moving the markets.
Wall Street's worst day in over 7 months. On Monday, markets in the US ended the day down over 2%. The markets reacted to a report that showed manufacturing activity in the United States had slowed, adding to fears that the world's largest economy is not recovering as quickly as everyone had hoped.
When we got the manufacturing report, I think it sort of added gasoline to the fire, and that's why we ended up in the red.
In January, a Chinese government report indicated a slowdown in factory output, furthering concerns that the world's second largest market is weakening. The US Federal Reserve also began rolling back its stimulus measures in December. Tapering is expected to have consequences in emerging markets, cash risks being sucked out of markets considered risky and moved back to the United States.
I think the tapering is playing in the international markets because it's making the currencies of the foreign countries, emerging markets, less attractive, primarily because of the rising rates that are likely to be occurring here in the States.
Market performance in 2013 indicated the world economy had turned a corner. In Japan, for instance, December saw the country leading the biggest gains in the developed world, but now things have changed. Analysts say the market turmoil won't be over anytime soon.
One company that really is moving on the markets this morning, though, is the Chinese tech giant Lenovo. Their shares down 14% in Hong Kong. Investors still digesting that news. They're going to buy Motorola Mobility from Google. 5 different brokerage firms have downgraded Lenovo after they agreed to do that deal for $2.9 billion.
Now, another issue that is worrying investors, though, is the US debt ceiling.
Yeah, just when we thought the US budget spectre had gone away, it's come back with a vengeance, this time with a warning from the US Treasury Secretary Jack Lew, who says the Congress needs to raise the debt ceiling by the end by the end of this month. Otherwise, the country risks running out of money to be able to pay its bills. This issue, of course, has been used again and again by politicians on Capitol Hill for their own political ends. Jack Lew is hoping that won't happen this time around.
The truth is, the longer we wait, the greater the risks become. Whether it's the economic recovery, the financial markets, or the dependability of Social Security payments and military salaries, these are not things to put at risk.
Quick look now at some of the day's companies' news, and we'll start with the owner of KFC and Pizza Hut, Yum Foods, which saw its profits fall by 5% in the last 3 months of 2013. But its results still beat expectations as the company recovers from a controversy over its poultry supply in China. China accounts for more than half of Yum's revenue. Like-for-like sales there fell by 4% last year. And the CEO of British bank Barclays has turned down his bonus for 2013 as the bank deals with a capital shortfall. It's the second year that Anthony Jenkins has declined to take his bonus, but this year it was worth $4.4 million. Barclays had to raise over $9 billion from its shareholders this year after being told by regulators to shore up its capital.
Now then, finally, are you a driver? If you are, I've got one for you. Listen up to this one. A new challenge for the American motor industry from Stephen.
Yes, the US government said that they may require car makers to install technology to allow cars to talk to each other. This is a system that uses radio signals to transmit between vehicles, showing where they are, how fast they're going and in what direction, in the effort that will be able to warn motorists of any potential accidents. Now, US officials say that this could prevent 80% of accidents that aren't otherwise caused by drink driving or mechanical failure. and car makers aren't likely to be obliged to install the technology until 2017. It'll add about $200 to the cost of a car, but there's going to be a battle royale to win the tender, of course, to install this technology. The names being floated about for that already are Cisco, Google and Tesla, who might be interested in doing it.
So when you say talk to each other, they're not like looking at each other and going, "You're right, love,"
And having a chat.
Yeah.
No, it's all
What are
about
you doing
subliminal
tonight?
messaging.
Okay. Stephen with business on France 24. We're going to have a look at what's grabbing headlines here in France now. A lot of focus on the government's decision to drop plans to update family law later this year. Flo.